Hey guys, what's going on? I want to teach you how I vertical trim sidewalks. I have so many of you guys reaching out on TikTok, Instagram, asking how to do it. So I just want to share with you guys how I personally do it. There are so many different ways, and I think that it really comes down to a preference. So you just have to figure out what works for you. I personally change it a lot too, like every single year. It kind of seems like I'll get in these mood swings where last year I wanted to walk forwards and I was always walking forward. This year I've been more stand on the concrete, walk backwards type mood. I don't know, it just depends. So for a situation like this, this is established. If it's really overgrown, I will use my metal edger first because I think it's a lot easier. I think it saves string and time. But for this, like I string trim this every week, or vertical trim it every week. So I'll just use my string trimmer for it. Reason being, one, it's you don't have to run back and forth to the trailer switching out tools. Two, I personally just think it's a lot more fun, it's a lot more challenging, and just kind of keeps the momentum going. So different ways that you can do it. I'm going to show you guys probably the easiest way, which is walking backwards to start. Now you can either walk backwards on the concrete or you can walk backwards on the grass. It just depends. I think if you walk backwards on the grass, it is harder to see what exactly you're doing. But if you walk backwards, I think you're more prone to tilt the string trimmer this way. This is exaggerated, but just so you guys get the idea, which is going to give you a thicker or a wider edge. So if you walk this way, I think you can see what you're doing, and you can also kind of use the sidewalk to guide you a lot easier. If you wanted to make it a little bit wider, I would say probably just turn your string trimmer more straight up and down. So key factor for me when I'm doing any kind of string trimming is I always rest my elbow on the string trimmer. So like if I'm just like string trimming like this, I'll kind of like rest it right in there. And then when I'm doing vertical trimming, whether that be mulch beds, sidewalks, whatever it may be, I will rest it like right here in this little spot right there. This is a steel FS94R, by the way. That's just what I run. So that really helps me have control over it. I realized I've seen people kind of like do it like this. To me, I really struggle with that because I have no control. So any little bump or any kind of little thing that gives me resistance, it's like all over the place. So what you want to do is you want to kind of just watch. Honestly, I'll kind of watch the results. It's kind of hard to see what exactly you're doing. It also just kind of goes with how it feels. You'll get a feel for it. So if you're gouging too far out into the lawn, you'll feel it. If you're on the sidewalk, you'll hear it and you'll feel it. So you just want to kind of walk like this. One of the cons, in my opinion, to walking backwards is you can't see where you're going. Like there's a place at this property right over here where there's a little bit of a step. I have almost eaten it so many times because I've like not seen it and then almost fell on my face. So I'm just gonna show you guys how to walk backwards on the concrete. This is kind of what it'll look like. Holy crap, first pull. That's about it right there. So if I wanted a deeper edge, I would just have to change the angle of the string trimmer. Again, it's something you just get a feel for, something you can play around with. Sometimes I like wider edges, sometimes I like more narrow. Wider edges do look better on camera, so I think I've kind of switched a little bit to a little bit wider edge, but you don't want to do too wide because then you'll get weeds in there. So that's how to walk backwards on the concrete side. Okay, so now I'm going to show you guys how you can do it walking on the grass side, going forward. Again, a big pro to walking forward is you can see where you're going. That's what I love about it. I also kind of get motion sickness if I walk backwards. So again, it's all about the angle of your string trimmer. If you have your, this is all exaggerated, but just so you can see on camera, if you have it like this, it's going to majorly screw it up. Just like if you have it too far like that, you're going to gouge way too far into the yard. So what you want to do is the exact same thing, just walking forwards. This is where I really need to put my elbow on the string trimmer because it really gives you a lot of resistance walking forwards. So that's just kind of what it would look like in context. Something like that, exact same thing. So I like that, that looks good. I'm going slower so that way you guys can see it in person. So you can see it clear. Once you get a feel for it, you can book it pretty easily, especially when it's well maintained. If it's overgrown, it's a lot harder to keep control. So we're not going to show this for security purposes, but privacy purposes, but there is a door right here. So in this situation, what I'll do is fling the debris away from like windows, from vehicles, from houses. So since our house is back here and there's a sidewalk here, the string, depending on what, I think it depends, I think Echo goes a different way, but this rotates this way. So all the debris is flying that way. So if I were to go like this and I were to walk forward, I'm flinging rocks and any kind of debris towards the glass. You don't want to do that. So I always try to be really intentional about where am I flinging debris. This is why I think it's really important to learn how to walk forwards or backwards. Some people get so mad and they tell me you need to walk forwards or you need to walk backwards. You're not a pro unless you do this or that. I don't understand why they say that, because one, it's a preference. Two, there are just a lot of times where it's like this. I'll just walk backwards going this way and then I'll hop over here and I'll just go forward, and it really keeps that momentum and that efficiency going. So that's something you want to watch out for. Another reason I like being able to walk any which direction is there'll be times where there's like, say I learned how to walk forward and that's my go-to, and then there's a telephone post right here. Well, then it's in my way and I was like, okay, well this is awkward, so then I'll just hop over here and I'll go backwards until I get around it, or I'll just keep going backwards, whatever you want to do. But that's just why I think it's important. It just helps the momentum of the mowing. All right, so another way to go is just forward again, but this time standing on the concrete side. Something I like about this is a little bit more sturdy walking. If you're in the grass, depending on the terrain, it might be a little uneven. It's just completely contingent, guys. So you gotta figure out what works best for you, what properties, you know, what works best at each property. But I'm gonna say one downside to walking on the concrete is I've noticed I get a lot more debris hitting me. I don't know what it is, but that's just kind of something that comes with it. So all you do, again, you want to just make sure you get that angle. Not too far that way, not too far that way, and you put your string along there and you just run with it. One thing I totally forgot to mention is where I put my other hand. So I am right-handed, so I will, you know, run it with my right hand normally. So with my left hand, it honestly depends on my mood. But normally what I'll do is I'll hold it just like that, and then I put my thumb here, because the way that it goes, it kind of resists back this way, and then I just kind of hold it tight just like that. Other times, if I'm bored or just want a challenge, I'm trying to think of how I even do it now. This is more around sidewalks. I think I go like that. No, I go like that. Don't ask me why. It's just something fun that sometimes I'll go. I can't even think of how to do it now, but normally I hold it like this. Different people do it different way. I used to hold it like that. That didn't really work out for me, so it's just another thing of finding out what is comfortable for you. I've done this for hours and hours, and this is just what works for me, is put my hand like this and my elbow like that. I'm working on going left-handed, and I don't know how, like, I can't, if I string trim left-handed, I almost have to have it like this. I don't know what it is. I don't know how to, like, put my elbow in there, because I feel like a chicken wing, and then, like, I don't want to have shoulder problems. So that's how you hold it. You just got to figure out what's going to work best for you. So last but not least, I think, is how to walk backwards on grass. So Megan, do you want to flip around here? Okay, so I've heard a lot of people say you should walk on the grass side. I think it's personally harder to see, but all just a preference. One thing I will say is when it's really overgrown, I will walk backwards, because I think you have the most control because of the way that the string trimmer rotates. It doesn't work against you, but it works with you. So same thing, get your angle, walk backwards. Super simple. So the main thing you want to do with vertical trimming is create a very crisp, very defined definition between this is the grass and this is not the grass. If you were to 45, which is just something like this, the grass will get really burnt out right here, but it'll still grow over onto your concrete. Doesn't look as good. So what you want to do is just put it on end. Some people call it flip trimming. Maybe I'm making that up. I'm blanking right now, but they call it something else. But all you do is literally put your string trimmer like that. That way you get a really defined, really crisp edge. Then you want to make sure you properly fan it out. I hope I went over everything okay. Let me know what you guys think. If you have any more questions, any other tutorials that you guys want me to do. And thank you so much for watching, and have a great freaking day.